Bringing them into the new era of marketing and showing them kind of like what content production can bring to, for example, one of our favorite clients, an industrial manufacturing company. They're like, I do not see the connection between you guys,
right,
this specific service you offer, and what that would do for my business, how it would monetize. Did we talk about what we're on track for this year? Like doubling?
Hey guys, so last week we got into how we named our agency. We took you through our journey, the biggest lessons that we learned as founders, the challenges, and today we want to talk about, an inside look into our wins, our successes, and how we grew and scaled in budget.
Yeah, I think that the beginning is not always so fabulous, and we tried to make it look as aesthetic as possible and look like we're on these big scale productions all the time when we started out, but that definitely was not the case. I think that once we started to get through learning how to monetize all of these productions and learning even what our margins were able to be to become profitable as an agency, I think that was definitely a big learning curve when we were trying to understand the industry that we were getting ourselves into, especially because it wasn't a huge area of focus for us as a digital marketing agency.
100%.
It started off as an add-on, and then it slowly turned into a full-blown service pillar itself.
It was something that, we kind of like squeezed in for every client to have because we wanted them to have the best content out there. But it wasn't necessarily something that we specialized in. So we weren't trying to make like a lot of money out of this. We just wanted to get this done, basically.
Yeah. I think that when it comes to getting really big clients, it's really hard to communicate your value. Everyone wants to see a portfolio. Everyone wants to see a commercial that you filmed, what your production team looks like on scale, what do you bring to the office. So that was really hard to get some of our most favored clients now.
I mean, even from a point of like, a lot of these clients came to us saying like, okay, so show me what you're gonna do so that, we can actually get there.
Right.
And just from an agency POV, like showing you what I'm gonna do is literally doing the job. Like it's doing the work already before signing anything, before.
Give me the strategy. Show me the strategy.
Right.
I'm like, that is a service.
You want to see the results, but like we're not working together.
They're like, show us what the deliverable would look like if you were to come here. And we're like, so we would need to come there to show you what it would look like.
How do we make this happen?
Right.
Explaining this to a lot of clients, like that was definitely a barrier, especially our big clients in finance, out there. They are not the most understanding of how marketing works and the marketing world, even the marketing lingo.
I would say in what marketing has become, because I definitely don't want to offend any of these executives we work with.
No.
They're so talented, so experienced. We have learned so much from working so closely with numerous CEOs throughout all of our clients.
CMOs, even COOs. Like honestly, we work so closely with all of these leaders, and just seeing how they manage everything they do has been really inspiring, and also gave us so many tips to do with our own agency.
Yeah, so I think kind of bringing them into the new era of marketing and showing them kind of like what content production can bring to, for example, one of our favorite clients, an industrial manufacturing company. They're like, I do not see the connection between you guys, this specific service you offer, and what that would do for my business, how it would monetize. So maybe we kind of tell the story of that client.
Yeah. So
should we give them a nickname?
What do we call them?
Boxes.
I was literally thinking Boxman.
Boxes or bags?
Why?
Big bags.
Big bag. Big bag man.
I don't know about big bags because...
Big box. Just box.
Just box. So we obviously are going to for confidential purposes, leave out the client's name, but this is one of North America's largest industrial manufacturing companies. We're so proud to work on their team and work so closely with their executives. They are an unbelievable organization. When we started with them, it was at the rebranding stage.
Well, let's take a step back and say that this company is actually a merger of like many different other companies. I think it was a total of 6 companies that literally came together. So we had to handle everything from pre-lunch to lunch, and then handling like marketing strategy after that.
I think it started with them asking us if we can do collateral for them during the pre-launch go-to-market.
Because it always starts like that.
It always starts with that. And we were like, so when you do launch, you need to understand that you need us to handle the LinkedIn management. Like, that's one of our biggest services, managing the LinkedIn platform. And we kind of built our Marketing 360 package based on all the different needs this client ended up coming to us with.
Yeah, I think it definitely, when they reached out, was like more of a project based, like one kind of a done job. And after they realized all the services that we had in house, we kind of like built this from scratch for them and created the faces.
I want to put a pin in this before we get into how we really flourished with this client, how they're still one of our favorites. This is a huge opportunity as a business owner that you need to recognize. You see a big company with these needs that you can definitely execute, or maybe not, and maybe you need to structure yourself to learn how to execute it. You have to position yourself as not a one and done, not a project-based situation, but how do you integrate yourself so that you are needed throughout this entire phase. There was a part of this project where they were like having third parties, kind of execute the external facing assets for this. And we managed to find a way to get ourselves in there and stay on the project until we were needed again, like on the front lines. And that was through offering consulting, offering any, design expertise that we can, anywhere we could find a fit.
We became their marketing team. Like, they would come to us for absolutely everything marketing related. So anything from like a product matrix that honestly wasn't something that we were like up to doing before meeting this client. We kind of like had to really, really understand the industry, like get really involved with their competitors. So after learning the ins and outs of this company, we were able to literally lead a whole marketing team and make everything that they have up to date, like marketing related, possible.
Yeah.
We're celebrating a year today.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
In November. Yes, right. Yes. This month is a year with this client, and it's crazy where we started from. But back to my point, I really want to focus on the point of, as a business owner, you need to find these opportunities and recognize them. Like, any person in our position could have been like, we'll take this project and like, if anything comes of it, great. Our dynamic was, this is a huge opportunity for our agency to break into a new industry, but also to get a client of this scale at a different service level, becoming like a really in-house team for someone like this. And we took it full force. We met with the entire executive board. We pitched all of our ideas, showed all of our work. We actually didn't have a lot of mock-ups for the collateral side.
I feel like we actually did all the mock-ups just for them.
Yes, we created from scratch without even being hired for these services. we showed what we can do. Sometimes you have to for a client like that.
Yeah.
And we got it. And to this day, we're still their marketing team. They just brought on a CMO, so we're so excited to actually work with someone like directly. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He loves what we're doing, so now we have even more support in that office. It's great.
And I will say, a lot of these large companies that come to us don't have an established CMO, and that's where, we come in and take on like a 360 perspective, because we're literally replacing a whole marketing team. You need someone to make decisions, to guide you, to tell you what is the strategy, how are we going to execute it, and what are the deliverables that we need to make this happen. And that's literally everything that our team takes. Until this client gets a CMO, we basically run the show.
Yeah. Yeah, we connect all the dots between the COO, the CEO, like it's...
And don't think that once the CMO comes in, like we lose our position or, you know, everything that we're doing. For us, having a CMO is so important because we do need someone that is on site and like relating all the information and updates back to the executive team.
Yeah.
We also need someone to, I mean, the scale of this company.
Listen, approvals are a lot easier for us when someone that understands what we're putting out there is giving the approvals, because it saves a lot of time of like explaining what we mean when we're putting out different strategies or new budgets for ads. Like, it is a much smoother process. I think that another really big win this year specifically is our other largest client on the commercial side. What should we call them?
Obsessed. That's a hard one to give a nickname.
Like robot?
No, because I was gonna say that, but I don't. I was like, it's too similar to box. Box.
Okay, so to give some context, our other biggest client is an electronics manufacturer and engineer. They engineer IT solutions, but also a whole range of electronic manufacturing services for some of the largest companies in the US and in the world. So round of applause to us for getting that. Yes. We're going to call them robot.
Yeah, I like that.
Because it's kind of like they...
Techie.
Yeah. They make robots. So they are also one of the newest additions to our commercial side and one of the largest.
For sure. And similarly to Box, they came to us with a lot of
boxes.
And similarly to Boxes, they came to us with a lot of marketing issues. Like, there was someone missing to connect all the dots. And we started again with marketing collateral, but we positioned ourselves to show all the full range of services that we offer. And right now we can say that we're actually like running the marketing department in marketing collateral, LinkedIn management, strategy, all the above.
Yeah, ads, everything. Like, we had a few meetings with their upper level executives when they were just recently acquired by a company, and they also went through a similar acquisition process where a lot of different executives from these smaller businesses inside of this came together, and they were like, look, we're all new here. Like, we're all working together for the first time, so we need help rebranding all of our internal, external assets, but also what makes sense. And we also need help with merch for sales summits. We need brochures to give out. Like, I mean,
so much stuff.
From like the smallest, most granular things to like really large things that corporations like that should have on deck.
Definitely.
Like, that is the range of services we're providing right now. We also love working with this team of executives because they are teaching us so much about how a corporation at that scale runs and all of the different things they kind of like expect to have to set themselves up for success as a business, you know, in terms of like marketing assets, what they need for like their HR team, their onboarding, so that it helps us perfect our 360 offerings moving forward.
This is something that we personalize, so, you know, if someone needs more or less, we can definitely tweak that, and that's why it's a 360 marketing service, because, you know, we offer everything from scratch to finish, and we can, like, play with the services as we go. Yeah. So, ideally, we want to grow with the client.
I will say, though, another point of being entrepreneurial mindset and, like, go-getters is this started with just LinkedIn. And we had a meeting with the CEO when he hired us for LinkedIn. Like, usually there's someone a little lower than the CEO that will do the hiring of like people like us. But no, we met directly with the CEO. He was like, we saw what you were doing for other people. We love it. We want you guys. And I was like, listen, robot.
I can't.
Listen, sir. You know, we offer a lot more than LinkedIn services. You're going to need it in the upcoming months because we heard you're going to be at XYZ conference and we know that you don't have any branded assets for this. And he was like, holy like, you're right. like, we're going to one next month and we have nothing. And I was like, sign here and we will get it all done for you.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
I think easiest way for a really high up executive to realize that he needs more than what he's asking for is to ask the right questions. If you start asking like, okay, so do you have a brand deck? No. Okay, so maybe do you have like a company deck? Do you have this? Do you have that? And then he's like, no. Okay, we need definitely more than what we're discussing right now.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. Yes, a CEO, huge name. Like, we were definitely like excited, but also like kind of scared about it. But for us, that was a huge opportunity. Like, we were like, we're going to be on a call with a CEO. So that's like, he opened the door and we ran through it.
Exactly, yes. There's a fine line between upselling yourself and actually making yourself extremely valuable. Very different things. Do not, if you sound like you're upselling services to someone, it's just cheesy and honestly no one respects it. If you add value, you're really getting into how you're going to make sure that their money is well spent.
Yeah.
That's all these people care about. And they just want to know that you're experienced, you're not going to be a pain in their ass, and you're going to get the things done that they need. That's it.
I think upselling would sound like you saying, oh, we also offer social media management for this. Like, is that something that you would like to explore? We also offer content creation. Like, do you think we can fly out to do this? Like, don't sell yourself like that. You want to, like I said, ask questions. Just make sure you ask the right questions, because one will lead to the next one. And then that's going to open a loophole for the CEO or whoever you're meeting with to be like, oh, wow, I need more. So now he's coming to you with the requests.
But like, transitioning and rephrasing those things into showing value is, well, I'm already handling your social media, and humanizing your brand is a really important part of engaging on a platform like LinkedIn. So we would need to come in for in-person content shoots and getting that stuff really firsthand for your face to be all over the platform talking to your audience. They're like, sign me up. You know, like, that's not...
Once you connect the dots, you know, one thing works because of the other.
Right.
So
you can only add value if you actually know what you're talking about. But on that, knowing what you're talking about, obviously there's a journey to get to that point. So us saying last week, fake it till you make it, and then us saying that like you can only provide value when you know what you're talking about. There's a journey in between both of those points. I think that leveraging what you know and what you're looking to build on in terms of your skills and experience is faking it till you make it. And then you can only actually upsell your services by showing value once you know and can say that confidently because you've done it before.
This is very situational. Only you will know if, you know, you're taking more than you can chew, or if you're actually like taking on services that you know you're going to be able to complete and, like she said, like add value. So it's really important for you to recognize like at what point it's not a good idea to take more and like maybe disappoint the client. Whereas if you take the approach of like maybe adding value every other month as you go, that might be the best way to do it too.
I think a really, really important thing to discuss is imposter syndrome when you're getting clients like this. Our favorite thing. There's just not enough times where we've turned to each other and we're like, is this really happening? Are we really having these conversations? Are we really working on projects of this scale? Also, when we're done pitching a client and that meeting comes to an end, we are like, we blacked out.
Yeah.
What happened?
I couldn't tell you what I said.
It's so hard to believe that we came from doing social media management, content creation on such a small scale to becoming the entire digital marketing team for Fortune 500 companies. And
wow.
Yeah.
Take a moment.
I know.
Because we actually don't like take a moment to acknowledge that enough.
Ever. The fact that we could say that,
it's crazy.
Like, we're here. But that's the thing. We still have imposter syndrome to this day. We did so much like internal organization today. Like this morning, we were running through every single account, all the employees, everything. And we're like, we need to take a moment. How did we get here? Is this real? Like the things that we're looking at?
Yeah.
So when pitching a client of that size, it's definitely hard to not have imposter syndrome.
Of course, it's not easy, like, at all. I think it's healthy to a certain point to have that imposter syndrome. Like, for sure, it helped us get to where we are, because we're never comfortable or like happy with what we have. We always want more, and we were literally just talking about that today.
Fine line between delusional.
Very fine. But it's also important to take a step back and acknowledge that we got here ourselves with no help, literally figuring it out, crying what we had to cry, fighting whoever we had to fight, and like, we made it. Like, we really did make it. We're not in the finish line yet, but
not even close.
Not even close.
I think that really having confidence in yourself and having a business partner that you fully trust,
number one,
is a part of having that imposter syndrome. You literally need to be so delusional to walk into a room as a young entrepreneur, as a woman, into a room of male executives and pitch yourself. I mean, we're young 20-year-olds who have a startup digital marketing agency. Yeah. These people have been in this world, in the executive world itself,
20 plus years.
For 20 plus years. I mean, their experience goes further than we've been born. Like, that's the level of, like,
people we're dealing with, and like the large corporations that we're dealing with as well.
Yeah, so having that confidence in yourself, in the skill set that you can bring to the table, that's what you need to carry in. The scariest part of pitching with these clients was, how much do we charge? And why are they saying yes without negotiating? The first time we ever pitched to one of these big, scale clients, we provided our pricing and they signed right away. And we looked at each other and we were like, we're undercharging. There's no way that a company like this doesn't have more budget for marketing. And it was weird that they just didn't negotiate our pricing.
No questions asked.
No questions, yeah.
Like, that's like, makes you wonder. Right. Like, are they signing because they really need everything, and like, they're just gonna, blindly agree to the number, or are we undercharging? Because like, they're probably used to large numbers. Like, they're a huge company.
We did get to hear how much someone, no names, spent on a website alone. And after that conversation, we decided that our packages were way, way too low.
Way too low.
They paid around $250,000 for a website. When I heard this, I literally had to mute myself because I think I was cursing out loud. I was like, who the hell is charging them this much? And why did they say yes? The website looks like shit. And we're actually being hired to fix it now. So when we heard that, we were like, okay, we need to take a step back. We need to understand the revenue that this company is bringing in. How much they're definitely allocating to a marketing division, which is a lot of assuming. Don't necessarily recommend doing that, but we had to get a gauge, right? And we started to figure out that we can make a little bit of a larger margin on clients like this and actually get to see some profit. So,
and also deliver better, like, quality work, because some of the things that agencies come in and charge so much money for and end up like, giving a return, like, it is not good. I think there's a lot of outdated marketing agencies out there that are just charging whatever they do because they have the experience, but, and this is in the nicest form possible, you need to keep growing and updating yourself to match like the aesthetics and like the capabilities and just today's world in tech. Like, the website has to be functional.
And it has to be engaging. Right. There's so many new features that these website platforms and coders have these capabilities. Yeah. And I mean, you're not using any of them, but you're charging how much?
Utilize them. Like, what? So but from a marketing POV, like, we know what to ask for, and obviously like an executive that's handling this doesn't know what to ask for. Right. And that's where our agency also comes in, and we're very much like, okay, we're gonna handle kind of like the creation of this without actually doing it, but we're gonna request everything that you need to have. And going back to like having that confidence into taking a project that you're not really like creating yourself, but you're handling other people to do. It's just everything is connected, and the way that you give yourself and perceive of yourself, like it's everything to finalize the pricing, handle other teams outside of the agency, and get the client.
Yep.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Milestone, today's milestone.
I know, I feel like we're really exposing ourselves in this episode.
You're welcome.
So today's milestone, this is like the 6th milestone of the year. Today we officially, I can't even say it. Today we officially made, on a month's salary, more than what our old jobs were paying us.
A lot more.
A lot more. I think that for me, like, my family's doubts in leaving a corporation like KPMG and the salary that they were paying me, they were very much like, do we know how long it's gonna take you to make that kind of money again? And like, no one ever knows the answer to something like that. But today, I texted my parents in full capital letters, a huge paragraph, that this month we paid ourselves more than we were making at our old jobs. And that has been 2 years in the making. Mm-hmm. So, do we talk about what we're on track for this year? Like doubling?
With that said, this year we're more than on track to double our revenue from last year. Last year, when we sat down and had the conversation around like our goals for this year financially, we never thought that we were actually going to double our revenue. Like, yes, we knew we were on track to do great things and make a lot more, but doubling it is honestly a huge accomplishment. Like, everything we did our first year was kind of like taking a step back, building that portfolio, doing services for free, saying yes to every client that came to us. And then this second year, it's been all about growth. Yeah. Financially, the clients that we have really elevated. And we also began saying no to other clients that did not serve us. So it's been really all, going up, just growth.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see. And I think that the first year was a really big learning curve for us to understand, like, what does get us to that next level, right, and what is kind of draining us in terms of like bandwidth to even be able to scale our company. Mm-hmm. So curating services, building a strong team, firing people when necessary, firing clients when necessary, and then also just acquiring new clients and pitching at a different level. Yeah, that has attributed to this second year of growth. And I want to say that, like, this has all happened before we've even gone viral in any sense. I feel like small businesses, like, the honest to God truth for these small businesses is like, you only achieve that exponential growth or like that level of success when you have a huge celebrity talk about you or wear your brand, right, or you go viral on social media. Like, we haven't really had that in terms of like it affecting our growth or our brand name.
That's a great point.
To have that just like organically as business owners.
Yeah. I see a lot of small businesses chasing after that like trend, that like going viral or finding the next thing so that they can actually take off. But what about, your customer service? What about the relationships you're building? What about putting yourself out there, networking, like really knowing when to say yes, no, like all those things that we've done?
Building as a business owner, like building your company, but also like building your skills as a business owner, knowing when to take that leap, knowing when to grab an opportunity. So on that note, I think that this episode really, really recapped all the things that got us from starting point to where we are now. And in our next episode, we're really excited to talk about things that are all things scaling, budgets, big projects that we got to work on, how we started with small projects, but also high maintenance clients, low maintenance things we do. So
I think it's a great topic because we do have a lot of high maintenance clients, and telling you the ins and out of how we handle them is really crucial to just keeping the relationship with them and having a long-term client.